How's it going, my friends? Are you well? I hope you're well. I thought you might like to come with me and Luna as we accept delivery of some living green compost, which we're going to use to finish off the beds in the backyard. I know it's been a long time building these beds, nearly 2 years, but we started off with stones. We took away the stones, we excavated the large stones or boulders in below, and we used those as a surround for the beds, and I think it looks really well now that they're complete. So yeah, that's the Living Green multi-purpose compost. They've been really kind to sponsor the backyard grow this year, and that's 1 tonne on a pallet. And this is what the beds looked like whenever the compost arrived. I had one that was out from a tarpaulin that had been planted in strawberry runners and garlic, with some room for onions, and then another 2 beds that were still underneath tarpaulin since the fall. And the length is about 48 feet and the width is about 5 feet, thereabouts. And this is the first time I'm rolling back the tarpaulin to see what it looks like. Hopefully there'll be no weeds. I can't imagine there will be. It's been on since the fall, and yeah, they're looking really well. There's a little tree seedling or something, probably sycamore, and a wee bit of mycelium, so things are looking good. And an insect, great. I mean, you couldn't expect or want to find better. It's looking really well. And so the beds consist of quite a lot of different native soils mixed together, and quite a lot of different composts, and then they've been tarped and then topped off last fall with about 10 to 12 tonnes of composted farmyard manure from a certified organic farm here in County Sligo. Clive Bright, the regenerative farmer that owns the brand of beef, or Rare Ruminaire, was kind enough to help me get these beds built. He came out and visited, really lovely fella, and very generously helped me get these beds made. And yeah, nearly 12 tonnes, I would say, maybe even more, of high quality compost to really get these beds going, and then tarped over the winter. You can see there's quite a lot of mycelium. I did inoculate the mushroom, or the pathways. They are mushroom beds, and once again they've been inoculated with winecap, so hopefully it does look like it's taken and we're going to see some winecap fruiting. But as we walk towards the end here, you can see this path, even though there's mycelium there, I think it could be oyster, because just behind that is a microfiltration trench which I inoculated with oyster mushrooms, with the intention of eating any pesticides that was coming down from the farmer's field behind, before it got to the garden beds. But as it turned out, that farmer has actually stopped using pesticides and fertilizers on that particular field since I've arrived, and is using super soil and slurry and treating it organically. So once I found that out, I just went ahead and inoculated the path adjacent to it with winecap. So we'll see if the oyster fruit, if the winecap fruit, or both, or maybe none. But it does look good whenever we see the mycelium literally right the way to the top. So yeah, the beds are looking really well. They don't look as lumpy as they were, and that's one of the reasons why I was so keen to use the Living Green compost, because it's so fine, it's a beautiful tilth, and it's just ideal for sowing seeds into as a top layer. So the middle bed's going to be used for annual vegetables, and we'll be able to sow carrots directly into the fine compost once it's on. But yeah, aren't they looking really well? This is before the Living Green compost goes on. So I just started to use the wheelbarrow and bring it in, and I'm just showing you here as I went through a bag, because there was about 20 worm cocoons in the first bag, and it's just beautiful stuff. No nasties, no, you know the way you get people opening up bags of compost and it's got really horrible surprises? No, it's the opposite with this one. You're just bringing out worm cocoons, which is really exciting. And yeah, I love it. It's not sterile. It's, you know, it's a biological compost. It's full of life, and yeah, it's pretty much nearly all worm castings. So you can see there's a weak worm cocoon I'm just picking up to show you, and hopefully that will hatch. But yeah, I've had them hatch in the past, so I don't see why not. So yeah, I was really excited, and I spent all day just wheelbarrowing it in and spreading it out. I didn't use a rake or a spade or a shovel or anything. It's just so fine. I just threw it threw it over the beds and scattered it, and it just filled all the kind of holes and uneven bits really nicely and gave it a real nice finish. As you can see now, it's a wee bit wonky, obviously it's not professional. You can see there I'm a wee bit off. I didn't use a string or anything to do it all nice and neat, but it's pretty good, and I was really pleased with it. And it was a massive day. With about 45 centimetres there of living soil. Now it just needs to get some plant roots into the ground. But super exciting, and yeah, middle bed's going to be annual vegetables, and the one on the right will be strawberries interplanted with onion and garlic and different plants, companion plants, and then moving towards raspberries for this time next year. And I think I'm just going to bring you into the hoop house, polytunnel greenhouse, just to show you how many bags I had left over. I think I used about 700 litres. So listen guys, thank you so much for coming with me. Today's a massive day getting these beds ready. I can't wait to grow some food in them. Thanks to Living Green so much for sponsoring the Backyard Grow, and thanks very much to Clive Bright. Guys, I hope your microbes are multiplying and your fungi are just bursting out of your beds. All the best, sending lots of love.